She doesn't even know what day it is. Your Honor, half the time she can't finish a sentence. My stepmother said it smoothly, like she was doing the court a favor. Probate courtroom 2B in Hillsborough County was quiet enough that I could hear the click of her manicured nails against the table. Her name was Laurel Dane. She was 44, dressed in cream-colored silk, wearing the kind of calm smile that makes people doubt their own memory. She had spent months telling my family I was slipping. She said grief had broken me. She said I could not be trusted with money. Now, she wanted a judge to stamp that lie into law. I sat there at 29, hands folded, face calm, because panic was what she was shopping for. Laurel did not want the truth. She wanted a performance where I looked unstable and she looked heroic. If someone tried to brand you as crazy in public like this, would you stay quiet or explode? Comment yes or no? Laurel became my stepmother when I was 16. My mom died young. And my dad, Daniel, was the kind of man who hated empty rooms. Laurel moved into his life like a solution. Warm voice, healing podcasts, homemade soup that always appeared right when he looked tired. But Laurel's love had conditions. She liked being needed. She liked being in control. And she liked the numbers attached to my father's name. Dad ran a small logistics company that did well. Nothing flashy, but steady. The real safety net came from my grandfather's trust. It was a portfolio of rental properties and conservative investments built over 30 years. Not celebrity wealth, but the kind that keeps a family safe, unless the wrong person gets their hands on it. 2 years ago, my father died from a sudden aneurysm. I was the one who answered the hospital call at 37 a.m. I was the one who signed paperwork with shaking hands. Laurel arrived later, sunglasses indoors, telling nurses she was too distraught to speak. A week after the funeral, I learned Dad had updated his estate plan. Laurel got the house and a reasonable cash payout. The trust, worth around $2.4 million, was left to me. Any distributions required my approval. When Laurel found out, grief turned into strategy. At first it was small, like a mosquito bite you ignore. A transfer labeled property maintenance. Another called tax settlement. Then, legal services. I only noticed because the amounts were too neat. $4,000. $6,500. $9,000. Round numbers that did not smell like real life. I requested full statements. Laurel told the trustee I was confused. She told him I was forgetful. She said she would handle it because Daniel always trusted me with the paperwork. That line, always trusted me, was her favorite weapon. She used it like a key that should open every door. But here is what she did not know. I work in bank compliance. Fraud review. The boring department people forget exists until money disappears. And money was disappearing. Over 7 months. A total of $183. $900 left the trust's operating account. Not one big theft. More like 40 cuts. Spread out and disguised. She was trying to drain the pool with a teaspoon. So nobody noticed the waterline dropping. I did not confront her. Not at dinner. Not on the phone. Not in front of family. Because Laurel did not just want the money. She wanted me discredited. She needed a story where I was unwell. Then any accusation I made would sound like paranoia. That is why she started planting little comments with relatives. She called me crying at midnight and didn't remember why. She forgets appointments. She's so emotional since her dad passed. I'm worried she'll hurt herself. A soft smear campaign. Sweet enough that people accepted it as concern. Then came the final move. Guardianship. Laurel filed a petition claiming I was mentally incapacitated and unable to manage finances. She attached a psychological opinion from a counselor who had never met me. It was based entirely on Laurel's descriptions. She asked the court to appoint her as my temporary guardian and conservator to prevent further financial deterioration. Translation: give me legal power to control the trust, so I can finish draining it. So there we were. Her attorney, a polished man named Craig Mullen, stood up and spoke with rehearsed sympathy. Your Honor, we have financial documentation showing that the respondent has failed to monitor the trust. Nearly $184,000 has been lost through transfers to unknown entities. Mrs. Dane has tried to protect her stepdaughter, but the respondent is increasingly unstable and refuses help. Laurel dabbed her eyes with a tissue she had crumpled before court even started. She leaned into the act like she was auditioning for the role of saint. Judge Marston, late 50s, looked at me over his glasses. Ms. Carter, do you understand the nature of these proceedings? Yes, Your Honor. Do you dispute the financial losses outlined in this petition? I dispute who caused them, I said. Craig smiled like I had walked into his trap. Then perhaps you can explain why the funds are gone. He handed the judge a folder. Selected pages. Highlighted lines. Carefully framed to make me look negligent. Laurel could not help herself. She doesn't even check statements. Your Honor, she's not herself. The gallery murmured. I recognized my dad's cousin. A family friend. Two people I had once trusted. They were watching me like I was a risk. I took one breath. Then, I stood. Your Honor, I said. May I approach with evidence? Judge Marston nodded. I placed my binder on the table. Thick. Tabbed. Organized. Not dramatic. Just final. Laurel Dane is correct about one thing, I said calmly. $183,900 moved out of the trust's operating account. But it wasn't lost. It was transferred by her. Craig started to object, but the judge raised a hand. Let her speak. I opened to the first tab. These are wire confirmations for 43 transfers. Each transfer went to one of two LLCs, Harbor Ridge Solutions and Sunvale Consulting Group. Laurel's expression tightened for the first time. I turned the page. Here are the state filings for both companies. Registered agents. Generic mailing addresses. Standard camouflage. Then I slid forward the next sheet. And here is the beneficial owner information supplied under subpoena from the receiving banks. I did not raise my voice. I did not need to. The beneficial owner of both LLCs is Laurel Dane. The courtroom shifted like a chair leg snapping. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." Laurel shook her head fast. No, that's a lie. She's delusional. This is exactly what I've been saying. Judge Marston's voice cut through her. Mrs. Dane, be quiet. I flipped to the next tab. These are login and transaction records provided by the trust's bank. Every transfer was initiated from the same device ID and the same home network. I read the address out loud. It was Laurel's address, the home my father left her. Craig's face went slightly pale, but he tried to recover. Your Honor, this is highly technical. It's not, I said. It's a trail. I turned another page. And this is where the money went next. The funds did not sit in those LLC accounts. They moved onward after a few weeks. Always in similar patterns. Into a personal brokerage account. I slid the printout forward. The brokerage account is held jointly by Laurel Dane and a man named Wyatt Hale. Laurel's head snapped toward me. Fury flashed through the polish. Wyatt Hale was not family. Wyatt Hale was her boyfriend. The one she swore was just a friend while my father was alive. The judge leaned back, removed his glasses, and stared at Laurel for a long moment, like he was seeing her clearly for the first time. Mrs. Dane, he said slowly, Are you telling this court you filed a guardianship petition while you were the person moving these funds? Laurel opened her mouth. Craig put a hand on her arm. Do not answer that. She yanked away from him. Already unraveling. I was managing things. Daniel wanted me to. He gave me authority. I nodded once. Like I had been waiting for that exact sentence. Your Honor, I said. She claims my father granted her authority. That brings us to the document she submitted as Exhibit C. Before I show what's wrong with it, tell me, do you want the forged signature proof first? Or the digital fingerprint trail? Comment 1 or 2. I flipped to the final tab. Exhibit C is a letter signed by my father. It's dated 3 months before his death. It claims he granted Laurel authority to manage the trust. Craig straightened. That letter speaks for itself. No, I said. It doesn't. I set down 2 pages. This is a report from a certified forensic document examiner. The signature on Exhibit C is not an original signature. It is a scanned signature lifted from an older document and placed onto the letter. Laurel's face went rigid. And this, I continued, is the metadata from the PDF file she submitted, provided by the court's e-filing system. Judge Marston's eyebrows lifted slightly. The PDF was created 9 days after my father died. I said, not 3 months before, and it was created on a computer registered to Craig Mullen's office network. Silence did not just fill the room. It crushed it. Craig's mouth opened, then closed. Laurel whipped around at him. You said it would be fine, she hissed. Too loud. Too desperate. You said no one checks that stuff. The judge put his glasses back on. His voice stayed calm. But the air changed. This court finds no credible evidence that the respondent is incapacitated. Judge Marston said. The petition for guardianship is denied. Laurel looked like she had been slapped. Furthermore, the judge continued, this court refers the matter of fraudulent transfers and the questionable filing of Exhibit C to the state attorney's office for investigation. Craig stiffened. And given the apparent conflict, Judge Marston added, Mr. Stans Mullen, you are ordered to withdraw as counsel if you are a subject of that investigation. Laurel's lips parted, but no sound came out. I sat down, hands still steady. The gallery that had been ready to pity Laurel now avoided my eyes, ashamed of how easily they had swallowed her story. Outside the courtroom, my dad's cousin tried to apologize. He started with, I didn't know. That's the problem, I said quietly. You didn't check. 3 months later, Laurel was charged with theft from an estate and financial exploitation. Her accounts were frozen. The LLC funds were clawed back. Her little wellness brand disappeared overnight when her name started showing up in public records. Craig's career did not survive either. The forged document was a grenade, and he had been holding the pin. As for me, I replaced the trustee, tightened the oversight, and rebuilt what she tried to drain. I learned something I should have learned earlier. People who weaponize concern to steal from you are not confused. They are calculated. Laurel tried to brand me as unstable because she assumed emotion would beat evidence. She bet her future on my panic. And she lost, because I did not give her what she wanted. If you want more courtroom stories where liars get exposed by receipts, hit subscribe. The next one gets even uglier.